Welcome to the Cigars of London YouTube channel. I'm back with Hazel. It's been a while. The past few uploads have been posted onto a different channel because I wanted to keep podcast footage on a separate channel. I didn't really know what to do with it. So it's on another channel. You might have seen it with me and John, but this will be posted on the usual channel because there's too much going on to have two different channels. But what we're going to do is podcast style, so we're just going to sit here, smoke a cigar, have some conversations, have some rum. I've got the Montecristo No.3. What have you got?
The Trinidad Coloniales.
Ever had one?
Nope, never. So first time. How about you?
I'm not sure I've ever had a No.3.
Nice. First time for everything. They're pretty similar in size, aren't they?
Yeah. So we'll see how we get on. Yeah, because I mean, whenever I go Montecristo, it's usually a No.2. I've had a few of which I can't remember the names of anymore. I've had a. What have I had? Maybe it was a No.1, but I've never hit up a No.3 before.
You often go for like good Mondays, don't you? It's like a quick, easy one, and then 2 is your fave.
It's fair to say that I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to cigars. I was never good at remembering names of any of them, but it's certainly been a while, and obviously on this channel I did a non-Cuban series where I only smoked non-Cuban, so I don't know, I'm a little bit out of touch. How do you use this thing?
Flick the cap open. Flip it open.
Can't even. Told you, I'm rusty. We had a cigar earlier on today. Oh my goodness.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
It was so bad.
How unfortunate. What was it called?
I have no idea. Was it like Bella something?
Bellamundo. Anything but Bella.
It was
Bella
really
Italian is beautiful.
It was bitter. It was just like sour and bitter and
tangy. What did I say? It was like running your tongue on soil, like metallic-y.
There was just nothing good about it.
Soil. Yeah.
Nothing good about it. It was, I don't know, £7 or £8, wasn't it, in the shop?
Yeah.
Sad. But honestly, it was terrible. I don't know. We didn't even get into the second third, did we?
No.
We just kind of left it. I might have just reached the halfway mark, but
like skimmed it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a cigar where I just had to leave it alone. Maybe once or twice, but this was really terrible, really bad. And already, I just need to give this another blast. But already, this No.3 here, it's straight away you just get flavour from it.
Yeah, the dry draw from this was lovely, like nice and sweet.
The draw in itself on this is nice. It's not too loose. You know, there's a nice bit of resistance. But we picked these up from, it's called the Pipe Shop, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Pipe Shop in Bournemouth. Really nice shop.
I love it in there. It's my local.
But they got all sorts in there, haven't they?
Yeah.
They haven't got a huge selection of cigars, but the ones they do have, they're good. You know, they got cigars from Cohiba, Montecristo, Romeo and Juliet, and then they've also got a nice collection of non-Cubans as well, for as cheap as.
Oh my god,
£4, £5?
£6, yeah, £6.
So you can spend under, you can get a cigar for under £10, which is always nice. With that being said, the cigar that we were just talking about that tasted like, well, it was just terrible. I don't know what it tasted like, but that was a cheap cigar. and we were having a conversation in the car about people walking into the shop thinking, oh, I fancy a cigar, I'm new to cigars, let me pick one of these up because they're within my budget. They're enough to put people off trying a cigar ever again, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine that cigar ever sort of ripening either.
Yeah, I don't know how old it was.
Yeah. Thing is, if it's just a bad cigar, it's a bad cigar, and no aging is going to save it, is it?
No. I didn't expect the world for the price bracket, but it would. At no point was it enjoyable.
No. Ooh. And I mean, we've tried cheaper, which have been better.
What's that one with the blue band?
Chinchillero, which I'm always harping on about.
How much were they?
£6.75 from the shop in Bournemouth.
And they're decent.
They're really nice.
Mm.
Great. 60 ringgit.
Solid little cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60 ringgit, so you feel like a bit of a boss when you're smoking it. When we last had one, it lasted an hour. Had a decent draw for a big cigar. There was a nice bit of resistance. But overall, it's just a really nice, enjoyable cigar, and you got some nice sweetness from it along the way. But honestly, that one earlier on was so bad. It's like they spent all their budget on a band. The
packaging, yeah, because the band looked nice. The cigar itself looked great, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it looked like a good-looking cigar, but unfortunately, on smoke.
Waste of time.
Yeah. Oh well, you got to go through the bad ones, haven't you, to kind of work out. But it's true. It's true what you say. Like if someone new picks that up, they'll never ever have a cigar again. They'll be like,
yeah, but like you were saying earlier, you hear so many people saying, "Oh, cigars are disgusting. I don't know how you smoke those things." But like, this kind of goes back to an old argument that we used to have, not like a personal argument, but just like an open-aired discussion regarding me and you, right? If we had someone new come up to us and say, I want to get into cigars, what do you recommend? You can recommend something like this, a number 3, Montecristo No. 3, that's £20. Might be a little bit out of their price bracket to get started because it's quite an expensive cigar if they're not going to enjoy it. But then if you went on the cheaper side of things, like we did today, it's enough to put them off. So where do you go? Like, because you don't want to rinse their bank account, introducing them into a new hobby.
Yeah, it completely depends on. I guess I would firstly ask what their sort of budget is, because some lucky sods, this sort of price range isn't like an issue. But I would definitely recommend a Chinchillero for like a newbie.
Even with that big ring gauge.
Yeah, because the resistance, it's a really easy like drawing cigar. It's not like you don't have to work it.
Yeah.
The few I've had have been a dream to smoke of them.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've only had one, but it was decent.
Yeah.
The best budget cigar I think I've ever had.
As soon as when I first tried it, I knew straight away he'd love it.
I just like the size of it as well.
Oh my God, this is Jed's cigar.
I do like the size. This is really nice. This is delivering a lot of flavour at the moment, but I do prefer a bigger ring gauge. And it's just like a comfort thing. It just, smoking a cigar, it's about style a little bit. Some people can deny that fact, but when you're smoking a cigar, you do feel quite cool.
You do, yeah.
So if you've got, like a 7-inch stick, you do feel like a bit of a gangster. With your whiskey, nice marble ashtray. Not that this has ever happened, but it's a fantasy, and that's okay.
Oh, I quite like a marble ashtray. Excuse me, thank you very much.
So we're in Hazel's HQ this evening.
Yeah, he's just ashing all over the floor.
Well, I just poked myself in the head with it. So I've moved all the table around, so I've, got the setup good. But anyway, what have you been up to for the past 6 months?
So I left my job in marketing, and I set up my own freelance copywriting business. And that's going really well. I'm doing like a lot of kind of for my own kind of stuff as well. I've got like my own little set up my own little blog, which has also got cigar reviews on it, and like travel, lots of travel on that. Well, it's a growing travel section, and it's just basically stuff that I really enjoy, and it's a nice little personal bit, which is also kind of showcases my creativity as well. So yeah, that's basically it. We're doing lots of writing.
What happened to the marketing job?
I just kind of got, being honest, I kind of got bored of working for someone else's dream, and I was like, listen, like, for all the years I've worked in this kind of industry, like I kind of know what to do and set up. I've got a passion for like copywriting, which kind of like, or writing in general, which kind of showed from this particular marketing job. I then like sort of learned about copywriting, and I was like, oh, do you know what? Like I could just do this on my own and do what I want.
Charge major money for it.
And like, yeah.
6-figure business.
Yeah. But you know, and be happy and choose my own hours and yeah. And so I did. I thought, you know what? It's time to make something work for me. So I did.
Too fucking right as well.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of working with someone else is just so depressing. Like sometimes, like me for example, being self-employed for however many years, sometimes if business is slow, you have to go and do some temporary work.
Yeah, some odd bits.
You know, for just to get some money back in. But there's no way I could commit to working for someone else full time. I think that's like I don't know.
Slow, painful death.
Just yeah, it just doesn't sound appealing. I mean, obviously I've worked for other people before in my life.
Yeah,
you know.
And I did a good old stint of it, and I got to a point where I thought, do you know what, I could definitely do something that I enjoy doing, and you know, give myself a tiny bit more freedom.
It's that whole thing of like having a job, and let's say you've got a job and it's paying you really good money. I'm not going to name a price, but it's paying you really good money per year. You would, well, not everyone, but for me especially, I would much rather earn way less, but have all of my own time for me. I'd rather just get by each month and not have that commitment to a full-time job 5 days a week. Because at the end of the day, you're only here once, aren't you? And like life goes so quickly. I don't want to get too deep into that whole thing. Because people have so many mixed opinions about the whole thing.
And not a lot of, yeah.
I have utmost respect for people who have full-time jobs and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But for some people, like me, it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone is different. And like working for yourself is like, it's also a very much a full-time job as well. It's
well, you actually work more hours.
You do, you really do.
But you don't mind because it's for yourself. It's like my dad, he complains about working 8 in the morning till 4:30. And like, I would love to work those hours. That'd be amazing. Can you actually imagine getting to work for 8, finishing at 4:30 and having nothing to do? Just literally nothing. It's a dream. There's like it's a complicated one because you have a full-time job and you know when you're going to get paid, how much you're going to get paid, so it makes it easier to budget. You know when you wake up, you serve a purpose. And sometimes as a freelancer, you know, if you wake up and you have no work on, you can feel a little bit lost and lonely. Because
incredibly lonely, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's what hit me the hardest, I think. When I did it was a complete like 180, what do you call it? Like it was I went from going in an industry where there's like, it was buzzing and there was lots of people around all the time, commuting as well, even on the commute, like gazillions of people all
just
around.
always busy.
Yeah, to suddenly, at home, on my own,
Silence.
looking at the same four walls.
Everyone else is at work.
Yeah, and everyone else is at work, yeah, you stop talking to people and you forget what it's like normally, like, you know, like you and I here. So it's, that was something I really struggled with. It was like this thing of feeling a little bit like isolated. Yeah.
And there's also that
It's just part of the fun, I guess.
feeling of pressure as well, because if you don't make money, you know, when it comes around to the 30th of the month, you don't have anything coming in. You don't get a pay slip from your work, do you?
No.
You know, when you're working for yourself, the money you get paid is what you've worked for. What I mean by that is, like, you can have a full-time job. All right. So when I was 16, I had a job in Halfords, and I don't know, I was probably on minimum wage back then, but I could quite literally go into work, stand about, hide from the manager, and get paid.
Yeah.
But if you're self-employed and you hide, you're not going to get paid.
No, that's absolutely. And I think,
do you want to sip the water out of that, and I'll pour some rum in it?
Yeah. I was also thinking of getting a couple of glasses of water, didn't we?
No, that's all right. We'll do it when we have a break. So there is that thing to bear in mind as well.
Get a couple of coasters for me.
Coasters are coming out. So there are pros and cons between having a job and not having a job.
Yeah.
And by not having a job, I mean
a normal life.
You know.
Yeah. Obviously, we all have jobs, but
well, unless you're a financial domination master. You've been doing a bit of research on the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. It's quite funny.
You have to write about all sorts.
I do. I do have one adult client. Well, it's an adult website that I have to write for. And yeah, I've just recently been doing lots of research on fetishes. And it's been quite interesting. There's Findom, they call it, which is what you just mentioned there, which is quite interesting. Well, there's all sorts actually, all sorts.
It's really limitless, isn't it? When it comes to like what people are into, there are no limits.
No.
Sometimes on like Channel 4, you'll see like these weird and wonderful documentaries of people. For example,
Have you seen that one? There's one about dogs. People dress up as puppies.
Well, I can go one step further than that.
Right.
There's one where people get pleasure out of reenacting furniture.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
Like pretending to be a lamp or a chair. I would literally just stand in the corner of the room pretending to be a lamp.
So weird.
It's not weird.
Oh no.
Can't judge people for this, but
ignore me. It's different.
It's different. It's certainly different. I don't know where these things stem from, but I mean, what have you got to have gone through in life to kind of go, oh, do you know what? I really feel like just being a lamp right now.
So on my research
Go on.
journey, I found that some people would love to do it. Most people are completely like, majority of people, they just have these things where they just like to switch off. Everyone does, right? They go to their normal job, they do their normal commute, they eat their normal lunch, their normal breakfast, their normal dinner,
sounds like a
their
full-time
normal
job.
life, and then they have this like quirky little kink or fetish or little life that they live out. I mean, that it could be, so for these people it's sexual fetishes. For other people it might be, you know, we would sit down and have a cigar to like chill out. But some people would
might think this is weird.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there are many people that do.
We're potentially talking to ourselves right now.
We really are. Oh yeah, I hope that camera's on. Imagine if it's off. Oh god. So yeah, and like so on my research I found that like actually some people just do it because it's their way of switching off and like chilling out. And yeah.
But when you think about it, being a lamp is actually quite a demanding job.
It's quite physically.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to stand.
Contortion.
Let's face it, lamps are sometimes on for like 8 hours at a time.
Yeah, wow.
And who turns you off?
Yeah, quite. Just imagining it now.
So other than copywriting and everything else, have you been anywhere interesting?
Yes. So I recently went to Amsterdam. And that was for. Now, it wasn't my first time in Holland, but it was my first time Well, it was still. We passed through Amsterdam when I was when we visited last time. But this is the first time that I went specifically to visit Amsterdam on its own, and it was really, really great. It was lovely. It's not just like a party city. Everyone talks about, oh, you know, go there and like get really high and coffee shop. Mental, mate. No, it's not like I went there with my sister, and we didn't even go. We went to coffee shops, but not like those ones. And in fact, I took her to loads of cigar stores, and like there's numerous parks, like beautiful scenery. The canals are insane. You know, cobblestone streets, like flowers, beautiful different colours of flowers everywhere. It's just such a cool, vibrant city with really clean, fresh air. Like, it was like a clean London, and a much better London. I mean, London's a bit yucky.
You find that though, don't you, when you go abroad, how clean some countries are? Germany, for me, was one of those.
Yeah.
Like, granted, where we stayed, there was like quite a lot of graffiti on the walls, but like it just seemed really nice and clean and well kept. And one thing I'll always say is how grown up the country seemed. It's like here you go out, you go to the shops and you try and buy a Red Bull, and you need to provide ID these days. But like in Germany, it's
you do because you've got a nice young fresh face. But...
No, like on the self-checkout, if you scan a Red Bull, they need to check that you're over 16. It just comes up with that little message. You know, that someone will be with you shortly. And it's just like, come on. I don't know, there's something about Germany that just felt really grown up. Kind of felt safer too.
Germany was nice. You'd really like Amsterdam. Really like them. There was one cigar store that I absolutely loved. I went to a La Casa del Habano one, and I also went to a store called Cigaragua Cigars, and it's got a ginormous walk-in humidor. Honestly, thousands of cigars.
Thousands.
I can't remember exactly how many there were. I think there's like, okay, don't quote me because I still have to like remember off the top of my head. I think there's up to I think there is thousands of cigars, but really? In terms of like brands, I think it's over 300 different brands.
Alright, so when you went in their humidor, how on earth did you pick what you wanted? When I went to JJ Fox last, I met up with Christos. Their humidor, I don't know, there's probably hundreds, certainly not thousands, and I was probably in there for about half an hour. I couldn't pick.
My sister had to leave because she was getting so hot because it was so humid, and honestly, it was, you could walk for. So yeah, don't quote me on the amount, but I'll be doing a write up about it soonish. So you can read it there if you want. But it's insane. I mean, so there was an amazing guy, attendant there, a manager, I think, of the shop called Ono. And he was so knowledgeable about all these like Nicaraguan specific cigars. So he really did help. Yeah, like all you had to do, people. And I watched. I did a lot of kind of snooping around. My sister took some photos of like within the cigar humidor for me while I was snooping around, and I was just kind of listening to Ono sort of like serve other customers within there, and he was just so knowledgeable. People would come in and be like, I like light, not too heavy, they just list a few things that they like, and then he'd go, right, yeah, I know which ones you should go for, these, and this one over here.
I've just got like a vision of Ono in his humidor. Have you seen Harry Potter where Harry goes into the wand shop to get his first wand?
Yeah.
And this crazy professor looking dude comes out of nowhere on a sliding ladder. Oh shit. And he like looks at Harry. I can imagine you walking in the shop and Ono's like coming down his humidor on a sliding ladder and seeing you. And then he takes you into the humidor to find your perfect cigar, and like when you get the perfect one, like this storm happens. Have you seen it?
I can't remember it. You must have just recently watched it.
I can just imagine you walking in going, oh yeah, I'm in the mood for something sweet, light body, and he just like gets his ladder out and he just like, zooms off.
Yes, I know the exact one.
And he gets this box out and he's like, this dust just comes.
Hey, it was like that. Because, like, yeah, so after he'd been serving, and my sister was taking photos, and she'd gotten really hot, and she'd left to sit down in the lounge. I then like described what I liked to have cigars, and he was like, right, taking me all over. And then he got out this one that was like in a glass tube. In fact, I've got it in the humidor over there. Like he was telling me how amazing it was, and like he had a lot of knowledge, which was I really like that about.
There's one thing I don't like about walking into a cigar store.
What?
And having someone there that knows everything about cigars.
What?
When I walk into a humidor and someone is super knowledgeable, it just makes me want to buy everything.
I did leave with like...
Not that that's a bad thing, by the way.
Six or so cigars.
That's just like a joke, by the way. Because like when you walk in, you just like you walk in and you're like, okay, so I'll get one for now, and I'll also buy one for later. And you're like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk in, I'm going to spend £50 or euros, whatever, and leave. But when you have someone in there like him, like who you're talking about,
and he's so excited and passionate about him. He's got stories about boxes that have been aged for several years, like.
You'll just be like, okay, fine, I'll have one of those. You walk out spending hundreds, like today. Not that we even needed to talk to anyone. It's just been a while since I bought cigars, and honestly, the pipe shop in Bournemouth, the prices are so good. They're so good.
They are, yeah.
Montecristo No.2, what was it? 25? 50. I think it was 25.50. For a Montecristo No.2, if you go to JJ Folks or Havana House, they're like 32, 35. Crazy. Such good prices. And I do enjoy the fact that they have really cheap cigars, but then also, I think the most expensive one they had was the Cohiba, and that was 35. So
and that's quite good for what it was. Yeah.
Really good for what it was. Really good. And also, there's coffee shops everywhere. And you're a 5-minute walk from the beach. Okay, so moving on. We're enjoying, well, I say enjoying, I don't know if you are enjoying it yet. We're having some of this Mount Gay rum. I bought this the other day and I tried it and I really didn't like it. But then I came here, had it with some ice, and it was so much better. Because I usually don't have ice in rum. But with this, I definitely think you need it.
Yeah.
It's nice to have it ice cold. Like without a couple of drops of water or ice, it was just a bit like drinking. I don't know. It was super strong, which I don't know. It didn't feel as smooth as the Diplomatico rum that we kind of got used to, and also the Havana Club rum. That's really nice actually for something that you can buy in a supermarket. Really tasty. How are you getting on with the Trinidad?
Yeah, enjoying it so far.
You don't sound convinced.
Yeah, I've had to relight it a couple of times. No, but other than that, it's been really nice. Not too heavy, definitely like sort of a light to medium cigar. I'm getting like sort of creamy notes, a little bit cedary.
Sounds quite typical of a Trinidad.
Well. Yeah, sweet note as well. So enjoying so far. How about you? You've got, as usual, you're steaming ahead.
Not really. Mine's a bit smaller than yours. Yeah, nice. I think I'm able to enjoy this so much more because we have that cheaper one that we had earlier to kind of compare it against. Like, granted, they're not in the same price bracket.
No, at all. But
just a premium Cuban cigar versus whatever the hell that was earlier.
It's just an unfortunate.
This is just delivering so much flavour. There's a nice amount of strength to it. You've probably been able to see the smoke output that it's producing, and that's always a nice thing when smoking a cigar. I don't like a cigar that produces like this thin, wispy.
Yeah, I hate that.
Smoke. I like to have a bit of thickness behind it. I think it might be a mental thing, but I feel like it provides more flavour as well when you're releasing a load of smoke from your mouth. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you more to play with as well. Like, you can blow out like 80%, kind of taste it in your mouth and release the rest. But when it's just a thin wisp, you can't really do much with it.
No.
But no, really nice. I think I paid 19 for this. Maybe it was 20. I don't know. But it's a nice cigar. Burning well. The drawer is perfect. And yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised how long it's lasting actually. Been on this for about 35 minutes now.
Yours is
only halfway.
Yours was I remember now. Yours was 1970 and this was 1990.
That surprises me. I thought Montecristo would be more expensive than the Trinidad. But I don't know. But no, I was talking about the rum a second ago. I feel like this is quite a good pairing.
Yeah.
Somehow it's not interfering with any of the flavours from the cigar, and vice versa. The cigar's not taking anything away from the rum. It's working quite nicely together. We do have some chocolate here, but I don't fancy any. Do you? No. I there's something about chocolate. I like the idea of having chocolate with a cigar, but every time I do, I just feel like it coats my palate and it takes away the enjoyment of the cigar.
Some drinks do that to me as well. Like, I do enjoy I have to say I do enjoy a Coke with a cigar, but sometimes it kind of offsets everything else. Like it does like sort of coat your tongue a bit.
One of the greatest pairings
Water.
I've had, food related pairing with a cigar is cheese. Can you remember at the cigar event at Havana House when they had like cheese
and olives? That was
cheese and olives.
Great.
I didn't have the olives, to be fair. I haven't warmed to olives yet. I don't think I ever will either. I think they're absolutely disgusting. But the cheese that they had chopped up, I don't know, there was something about it. There's something about
really
that.
well with the cigar.
That
so
savoury
weird,
snack. With, I can't remember what cigar we had.
Partagas. It wasn't actually that great, the cigar.
I can't remember.
It was Partagas something, but who knows what. It'll be in one of those videos.
Yeah.
Back in... We might not have posted it.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it was posted somewhere, but with the Havana House cigar events, they're in a tiny little room and there's like 15 guys. Enjoyable event, but to film in there, you just feel like you're invading people's private time. So it's, I don't know. I can't remember what footage we got. I don't know if it was posted, but cheese is an amazing pairing with a cigar.
I think it's the saltiness. So the salt, like often like sort of salty Salt works good with certain cigars. Like they say, if you have like with certain cigars, they go nice with like a salty beer or something like that. So yeah, I don't know what it is about that.
It's mostly just rum, coffee, or water for me when it comes to a cigar.
Yeah, water really like the best really for me.
Especially with Cuban cigars. This was something else that came to my mind earlier on when we were talking about the thousands of cigars in the humidor and not knowing what to pick when you go in. It's this whole thing, like, every time I walk into Havana House, for example, I automatically look at everything I've had before. So anything Montecristo, I don't think I've ever had anything bad or unenjoyable from Montecristo, so I always look at them. And I have to kind of force myself away, and because I'm a big believer in trying new cigars and venturing out, but some of the time that can bite you, and you'll spend £15 to £20 on a non-Cuban that you would normally spend on a Cuban that you know you're going to enjoy, and after you spend that £15 to £20 on a non-Cuban and it's a bad one, you're like, I should have just stuck with my guns and picked a cigar that I knew I was going to enjoy. That was the end of the story.
Great story.
Because there's something about a cigar, you want to go into a humidor, pick a cigar, take it somewhere and enjoy it. But with that being said, a lot of Cuban cigars, they do have their faults. I don't know whether I read it or heard it somewhere, but it was something about Cuban cigars being produced too quickly these days. They're not given long enough to age. People are rushing the whole production of the cigar, so out of a box of 10, you might get 5 bad ones because they've been rushed. They'll be plugged or they'll burn unevenly, they'll start tunneling. But with a non-Cuban, you never get one that's plugged. You rarely get one that burns unevenly. But sometimes the flavours are just not there.
Yeah. There are a lot of like fans of like hardcore Cuban fans, and there's lots of hardcore non-Cuban fans. And whenever you like Ono, that gentleman in the Cigar store, he was hardcore like non-Cuban. Like in fact, obviously he was a Nicaraguan cigar specific fan, and it was all about the quality. He was talking about the quality that you get. He said, like, don't get me wrong, he was like, he goes in and has a, sits down in the lounge of the Casa del Habano and has, Cuban, but he said, actually I remember, he said 9 times out of 10 I'll go into the Casa del Habano, sit down, buy a Cuban, sit down and smoke it in the lounge, and I'll have to, there'll be something wrong with it and I'll have to change it.
Yeah.
Like, he'll usually go through one, there's something wrong with it, he'll change it and get one that's good.
Yeah.
So, and he says that without fail pretty much every time he does that, which is, interesting.
From memory, I've never had a bad non-Cuban in terms of the build of the cigar, the burn, the smoke output, blah, 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 blah. Most of the non-Cubans aren't really to my taste, but I have had some really, really good ones. And when they're good, they are really good. But when someone says to me, what's your top 3 favourite cigars? All 3 of them are Cuban. I can't name a non-Cuban cigar that can top my top 3 Cuban cigars. In fact, that was part of the reason I did the non-Cuban series.
And I make you right, actually, because I think I personally think when rating a cigar, I think it's only fair to rate it within the Cuban market. If say if you give a score of 98 for a cigar, I wouldn't be able to match that with a 98 that I'd give it. So if I gave a non-Cuban a 98, for me, I could only rate that like with all the other non-Cubans. I couldn't sort of I don't know how to word one.
Your cigar ratings in the non-Cuban world are different to Cuban world.
Yeah.
I suppose they have to be.
They have to be.
Yeah.
They're a completely different thing.
Yeah. It's like the reviews that we were doing last year. Like, we would come across a cheaper, let's say £10 non-Cuban, and we'd be like, this is a 9 out of 10 cigar.
Yeah.
But then we'd also say the same for a Ramon Iones something like that, and we give that a 9 out of 10. But that 9 out of 10 is different because you have to take so many different variables into consideration.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. For me, it always comes down to price point and certainly flavour. But what?
Yeah, they're the top two. But then also, you've got the construction, which really you can make or break, can't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having to relight a cigar every 5 minutes. There's nothing worse than one that starts tunnelling. I don't mind an uneven burn because you can sharpen that up. But like when something keeps going out, you're just like, it should be a relaxed, enjoyable experience. You don't have to keep.
And sometimes it's completely the opposite, and you're getting really stressful smoke. And
I also think when a cigar goes out and you relight it, and it goes out again, and you relight it, and it happens again and again and again.
Oh, it gets so hot, and it's just
exactly. It ruins the flavour. So not only is it ruining the whole experience, but it's the flavour as well, which is super important. What's your favourite cigar brand of all time?
Hands down, H. Chapman. And I know you would disagree with me with this.
I just find that so boring.
I know.
I just find them so dull.
H. Chapman.
Why?
They just tick all of my boxes. I'm just such a fan of H. Chapman. Pretty much every cigar I've had from that brand has been tip top.
I just find them to be quite bland, to be honest.
Disagree.
It's like eating a roast dinner and having no seasoning. It's decent. You got some good quality food on it.
Talking about R&J's here.
You got some good quality food on the plate, but there's no seasoning. So it's a bit like, free range chicken and a Yorkshire pudding, but that's about it.
Disagree.
But then with Bolivars, Capiba,
I have to say Bolivar.
Montecristo.
Yeah. Yours are hands down Montecristo, isn't it?
But you love a Bolivar too.
I do like a Bolivar. I do like a Bolivar.
And they're the other end of the table.
I know, which goes to show, Yeah. But if I was to sort of go in and to a store and literally not know what to pick, my go-to I'd go to a H. Chapman because I know that 9 times out of 10 I'll enjoy it.
Well, that's fair enough. I'm not knocking you for enjoying bland cigars. I can't remember the last time I had a H. Chapman cigar because, put it this way, if I walked into a humidor and I really wanted a cigar and they only had H. Chapman, I'd buy one. But I don't know. They don't draw my attention.
It's the last cigar on earth, so I'd have it.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Maybe I need to try another one.
I think so.
Because I intentionally avoid H. Chapman because they just don't draw my attention. I can't ever remember having a H. Chapman and going, wow, this is incredible.
Oh, you are missing out. You need to know.
Trinidad Coloniales. Bolivar Libertador. Have you had a Libertador yet?
No.
Like a massive Bolivar. Amazing cigars. They are unbelievable. Just H. Chapman don't do a cigar that good.
Okay.
They just don't. What's the most expensive H. Chapman you can buy?
Oh, I don't know.
£12?
No, what are you on about? Oh my goodness. He's a nightmare.
Do they hand them out like freebies or?
not participating
I
in this conversation.
don't know. There's just so many. Like the Trinidad Lechova, that always comes back to me. The Bolivar Libertador and the Trinidad Vajilla. They are just 3 unbelievable cigars. Granted, they're like £30-40 for the Bolivar and the Trinidad.
Bahique.
I haven't had one of those since you got me that one for my birthday.
2 years ago.
Yeah. I did see that they had some in David's Humidor in Cobham not long ago. But I just didn't want to spend the money at the time. I don't know. There's, I'd rather get 2 Montecristos instead of 1 Bahique. I know they're good, but there's a time and a place. I think they're definitely like a special moment cigar. Like a birthday or I don't know, New Year's or something. They're not the sort of thing that I want to have with a coffee. I'm not that rich yet.
One day.
So, what's going on in the world of me? Sometimes I don't even really know. I've got so many different things going on. Right now, I'm working with a friend of mine called Rico. He's a tree surgeon, so I'm doing that full time. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you're a freelancer and you don't have work, you have to do other things, and that's what I'm doing right now. I recently photographed a motocross event, uploaded all the pictures to a website, and it kind of flopped. Didn't do as well as I thought it would, but I enjoyed the whole thing anyway. I enjoyed being at the motocross event and shooting some pictures. It's so much more fun and exciting than taking pictures of people just stand there, because there's something about working with a model is easy because you have control over the light, the outfit, the posing, the location. But when you're taking a picture of a motocross event, you don't have control of anything. They go past you and they're gone. And if you miss your chance, you miss your chance. But when you do get the shot, which I always do, I think it's run out. I'll get some more in a sec. When you do get the shot, it looks amazing because there's so much going on. It's like an action sport. It just looks good, and it's good fun.
Yeah, you used to do a bit of riding, didn't you, when you was younger?
Yeah, you keep talking. I'll get some gas.
Oh God, spotlight on me. Not really sure what to say right now, so.
Yeah, you did really good there.
Just once. Yeah, so you used to do a bit of riding when you were younger, didn't you?
Yeah,
so it's nice
I used to ride bikes, so I did have an advantage in a way because I knew good parts of the track to take pictures on and whatever else. So yeah, it was fun, and I look forward to doing it again. I'll tell you what though, it did bring back a lot of memories because whilst I was there, there's all these camper vans parked up, and they've got their barbecue set up, and I just thought it would be so nice to have a van with a bed in it, a garage for a bike, and you camp up for the night. I could just imagine having a barbecue and a cigar and then riding a bike the next day. It'd be so cool. That's another thing.
Did you ever do that as a kid?
What, have a cigar?
No, camp out and
all
ride
the
the next
time.
day.
We had a big camper van, and it was always amazing. Loads of effort, but it was good fun.
Oh.
So, we obviously live in the UK. What are we in, September?
Yes.
We, or I especially, crazy lighter. I don't think I take advantage of our summers when it comes to smoking cigars. And I always look back at how great it was when we get into the colder months. Because when you do want a cigar and it's freezing cold, and you can't go outside unless you've got like a scarf, a hat, and gloves, and 15 layers.
Socks.
I hate smoking cigars when I'm cold.
Mm-mm.
I have to be, warm, cozy. I don't know. Oof, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a relaxing thing, isn't it? So you don't want to be uptight and tense, and yeah.
But look on Instagram over the winter months, like especially in parts of Canada. I think Cigar Boss Man. I think he lives in Canada, and like during like December, January, February, he's like in snow, thick snow, having a cigar. I just couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I'm like a fair weather cigar smoker.
Most people are. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to it at all. So other than that, I mean, what's going on with Cigars of London?
Yeah, direction.
Looking back, with the cigar reviews that we used to do, like part 1, part 2, part 3, they were a lot of fun, and it allowed us to learn a lot about cigars. I feel like it kind of opened up a little window in your own life in terms of writing, because obviously you used to write the video descriptions and blog posts about the cigars. But trying to produce one of those reviews every single week, not only was it quite expensive, but there was also quite a lot of pressure, because I always wanted the videos to look good, and most of the time I couldn't remember the ring gauge, the length of it, what it was called, where it was from, and I didn't know whether the videos should have been educational or fun or what. But looking back, I was probably taking it too seriously, which is why I'm interested now in doing the sit-down podcast-style cigar reviews, because they're more relaxed. We don't have to focus on cigars and cigars only. And, that's one of the things I don't like about smoking at cigar lounges. It tends to be all anyone talks about. Granted, it's an interesting topic, but when I'm having a cigar for an hour and a half, I don't only want to talk about cigars. I want to talk about what's going on in the world, what you're up to at the weekend, what's going on. I just want to have a general chat.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people want to.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
There's so many know-it-alls in the cigar industry.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym and having someone pester you about everything they know about the exercise you're currently doing.
Yeah.
When someone comes up to you in the gym, you're like, oh, you should be doing this and that, and oh, have you tried this and that? It's like, hold on, I'm just here trying to mind my own business. Go away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And that's not me being antisocial, by the way. If someone wants to come and sit down and talk about a cigar, great. But when they start going, oh, have you tried this one from 1990? And it's like, no. Or what about this one? No, not that one either. What about this? And it just like, no, and no. Like, have you got anything else to talk about?
Yeah.
Then cigars I have obviously not tried.
I mean, it's interesting. It is, but I think one of the feedback I got when I started doing my own sort of blogs for the site, I think one of the comments I had from one of the watchers of the channel was, why don't you do like your own kind of like video style, but like more conversational, and talk about like fitness and training, and gossip while smoking, and I was like, that's a really interesting concept. But then I sort of went on to say, I'm not looking to do a video style thing. I'm just doing mine's just going to be totally written. But that is effectively what you're now doing, isn't it, with COL?
Yeah, it's just easier. It's a more relaxed thing. And also, I don't and never did want to be a cigar aficionado. I didn't want to know every detail about the cigar industry. I just enjoy smoking cigars and having a conversation whilst doing so. And whilst we were doing part 1, part 2, part 3, everything was about the cigar. We never got to actually have a conversation about work or anything like that. So I like this.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. So quick summary on the Trinidad. How are you getting on with it?
Really enjoying it. It's been very pleasant. Definitely pick another one up again. Definitely sort of light to medium, a lot of sweet. It's been very balanced throughout. A nice sort of like underlying sweetness kind of woven throughout, you know, cedar and some floral notes as well and cream. But yeah, very nice. Pleasant.
Better than H. Upman?
Oh,
Go on.
nah.
Montecristo No.3.
Comparable.
This has been an absolute beast.
Mm?
Yeah, a little beast.
Good.
A little powerhouse. Not too strong. The power phrase comes more from like the flavours that I'm experiencing. It's just really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be nice with, like we're having now, rum, water, and most of all for me, a coffee. Coffee and cigars, I don't think there's anything quite like it. But we're going to close out this podcast style video hybrid whatever you want to call it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If you want to check out Hazel's blog, then where do they go?
So if you follow me on Instagram, some of you do, then I've always got a link in my bio that will direct you straight to the latest blog post. And obviously the site itself. But the site, if you don't, the site is hazelelizabeth.co.uk. So yeah, if you want to check it out. I might even do a little write-up on these 2 cigars, what you thought, what I thought. But yeah.
Cool. All right, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.